Elliot, what do you think is an important soft skill to have as a junior lawyer and then progressing onwards with your career?
I think there are loads, to be honest, but I think one of the main ones for me is self-awareness and an ability to always check yourself and try and work on yourself. Self-development is so huge, and that's not just from a career aspect and increasing knowledge, but it's everything. From the way that you communicate with clients, emotional intelligence, and your own self-awareness, just really working on yourself and making sure that you continue to improve, because being a good lawyer is only one part of the job, and how you interact with people and interact with clients is just as important. Anyone can learn a job, but a change in character and personality only comes from hard work that you put in. And I think that's so important. What about you, Chloe?
I think another skill that we really need to have, which kind of leads on to the self-development, is communication. You need to have those skills. You need to know how to talk to people, when to give updates, how to give updates. Sometimes you might be having to break quite difficult news to a client. Say you're doing a case and it's not gone how they wanted. You need to have those skills of being able to put that over to them in a sensitive but still efficient way that they're getting all of the information. So those skills are really, really important, as well as making sure your clients stay updated on the progress of their transactions or their cases. You need to make sure that you are efficiently communicating at all times, as well as with your peers, which is another really, really important community that you have access to. You need to know how to communicate with them. Not only will it help support you in your career, you'll get information from them. You can ask your colleagues for help. You can ask them how they would do things or how they think they should be doing this. So it's really, communication skills are really, really important in our line of work. Emily, what about you?
I would say at every stage in your career, you need to be comfortable with accepting feedback. And almost more importantly, you need to be comfortable with seeking that feedback out. You should always be asking for feedback from people, whether it's clients, whether it's peers, whether it's, your manager, anyone like that. You should be asking for feedback from, so that feeds into your self-development and also your communication. For example, if you ask a client for feedback and they say, well, I think it would have been helpful if you'd picked up the phone instead of emailed me. That may just be case specific, but it does give you something to think about with your communication skills. Okay, am I having that kind of telephone time with them enough, or is that something I need to make sure I'm doing more often? And being able to receive feedback is so important. I think our instinct is to go on the defensive and think, well, that's not true. I don't think that. I think it's so important to take it on board and process what's actually being said, because feedback should be about behaviors rather than you as a person. So it should not be an attack on your person, but rather behaviors that you're exhibiting. So I think you just need to take it on board, process it and think, okay, how can I turn this into something positive? How can I use this feedback to improve? And making sure that you do that every stage of your career will mean that your self-development continues the entire time. And, it's just such an important part of this career, is to be constantly evolving and being better and, being better for your clients, for your colleagues, and for the business as a whole. So it's definitely something to keep in mind throughout your career.
And I just want to highlight that point that you said as well. Feedback, very, very rarely, I don't know about you guys, but very, very rarely have I actually had proactive feedback given to me without asking. I think that making sure that you're seeking feedback, and I guess that's another skill that is probably really important, is initiative, and taking a hold of your own situation, and making sure that you're making the right decisions and that you're seeking feedback and that you're constantly looking to develop yourself rather than waiting for someone else to do it.
Yeah, and I think as well, giving yourself feedback after, you know, if you sit down and you think, I could have done that better, how can I do it better in the future? So not
reflection is so important.
Definitely so. And you know, if you aren't doing that, you're not going to improve, you're not going to get better, you're not going to get to your full potential, you're going to stunt yourself.
Take it all on board and learn from it.
Definitely.